Alright, check this out. My client Marcus just drove off in a 2022 Hyundai Elantra. Marcus, how much did you put down today? 10,000. 10,000. What's your monthly payment? 862. 862. How long are you financing for? Life. Now ask how much that lease payment runs. 14 grand a month. 14,000. Yeah. I've got a $1,200 car payment, and honestly, I'd do it again and again and again. You only get one life. Today we're digging into people trapped in absolutely wild car payments, starting with someone who thinks $600 a month for 7 straight years is completely normal. An 84-month car loan. What an 84-month car loan. I want to lower my payments. You realize that's not how it works, right? You end up paying more interest over time. This is a 2024 Kia Sportage. And the payment is $638.70. That's an insane car payment to carry for 7 years. Honestly, $600 feels normal to me. Normal. Oh, I'll just refinance once rates drop. Okay. If rates drop. When rates drop, they're definitely going to drop. What? Yeah. If I can refinance, great. If I can't, whatever. If I can, awesome. Whatever. I've got an 84-month loan. I'll be 40 years old by the time I finally pay this car off. And by then a car that cost $39,000 will only be worth $31,000. $638.70 a month for 84 months on a Kia Sportage. And the scary part is she's not even wrong that it feels normal. Recent Edmunds data shows the average new car payment just hit a record $777 a month. 1 in 5 buyers is now paying over $1,000 monthly. And almost a quarter of all new car buyers are stretching their loans to 84 months or longer. Normal doesn't mean smart. And her backup plan, I'll refinance when rates go down, is a hope, not a plan. Rates don't owe you anything. Meanwhile, the car she owes $39,000 on is already worth only $31,000, and she'll be 40 years old before it's actually hers. I've got a $1,200 car payment, and I would do it again and again and again. You only get one life. While it's important to be smart with money, it's also important to actually enjoy your life. You're paying what amounts to a mortgage on your car. I don't care. I'm into cars, and I've got a twin-turbo V8 in my 20s. In life you have to make calculated trade-offs. It's give and take, push and pull. Where I might overspend on my car, I underspend everywhere else that matters. I barely buy new clothes, I don't drink, I definitely don't smoke, none of that. So sure, I might be $50,000 in debt, but it's my life. Now, I'll give him credit for one thing, at least he has a philosophy. No drinking, no smoking, no shopping, all car. That's more intentional than most people in this video. But let's actually run the numbers on the trade-off he's making. $1,200 a month invested through his 20s at average market returns comes out to roughly $250,000 by his mid-30s. Instead, that money is going into a twin-turbo V8 that's losing value while he sleeps, on top of $50,000 of debt. You only get one life, cuts both ways. You also only get your compounding years once. The car will still be around at 35. That financial head start won't be. What is this car? It's a 2017 Ford Mustang. That was a $25,000 car. What's the minimum monthly payment, man? $556. What's the interest rate on this? 24.1%. No. Yes. Dude, your interest rate is higher than your actual age. What's your insurance? My car insurance payment is $770 a month. Who sold you this? I need to go find this person. It was CarMax. I thought I could trust them. I'd honestly be willing to trade my car in for something more expensive and newer. What was she even talking about? So other people with the same income and job as me at my age, don't you think they've been approved for $50,000 or $60,000 cars? I like luxury, something like a Lexus RCF. It's basically the Japanese version of a Mustang, that's what people call it. A 24.1% interest rate. That rate is literally higher than his age. Added up, $556 for the car plus $770 for insurance comes out to $1326 a month for a used Mustang. And after hearing all of that laid out loud, his takeaway is that he'd like to trade up to a Lexus RCF because other people his age got approved for $60,000 cars. Getting approved is not an achievement. The bank approving you just means they think they can profit off you, and at 24.1%, they're absolutely right. This is like escaping a bear trap and immediately asking where they keep the bigger bear traps. Gonna be a, ho, come to Joe. Good credit, bad credit, no credit, how much did you put down? Man, I put down $1,000. How much are you paying a month? $534. How long are you financing for? I'm financing for 150 years. How much did you put down? $1,000. How much are your payments? $600. And how long are you financing for? Life? Yes, sir. Miss Destiny just picked up this 2021 Ford Escape. Miss Destiny, how much did you put down? $1,000. All right. How much was your monthly payment? Just about $389. Okay. How long are you financing? 267 months. All right, congratulations. Okay. So if you haven't run into this trend before, these are dealership promo videos. The dealer films the customer on delivery day, asks how much they put down, what the payment is, and everyone jokes around, financing for life, financing for 150 years, congratulations. It's become its own genre, and it works as marketing precisely because it's basically true. $1,000 down on a $30,000 car means you drove off owing 97% of something that lost value before you even hit the first stop sign. And notice what the customers are actually celebrating. Not the car. The approval. Good credit, bad credit, no credit isn't a welcome mat, it's a warning label. The confetti is for the dealer. What's one bad financial decision you regret making? Oh man. Low-key, buying a car too young. Trying to finance something like a little Challenger, you know, that 392. Yeah man, that's a bad decision trying to do that young. Low income, you gotta keep your head down. What was that monthly car payment, man? $800. Was that with or without insurance? Did you get repossessed? Yeah. What? You didn't make a payment or something? Yeah, on God, I took the L on that one. Did you have a high interest rate? Yeah, I did. Yeah, probably because you didn't have a good credit score yet, so they hit you with a high rate. First-time buyer. But on God, that's where they get you. That addiction, trying to get the hot car, bro get a Corolla, bro stay down till you come up, bro $800 a month at 18% interest on a Challenger 392. Driving with no insurance, and it still got repossessed anyway. Driving uninsured, by the way, means one fender bender and you're personally on the hook for 2 cars, one of which isn't even yours. But credit where it's due, his friend's advice, get the Corolla, stay down till you come up, is genuinely better advice than half the finance influencers on this app. And then it takes a turn at the end. Asked if he'd buy the car again, his answer is basically that it's all about belief. Belief doesn't report to the credit bureaus. The repo does. What's one bad financial decision you're about to make? Financing a vehicle, 0 down, just because I could. I walked in and said, I want that car. He asked how much I was putting down. I said nothing, and he handed me the keys. And my APR shot straight through the roof. Bro, what was your APR? Like 20%. Damn. And what's the monthly payment looking like? 700. 700. How much with insurance? My insurance is $250. So you're dropping about $1,000 a month total? I'm paying about $1,000 a month for the Honda. It's been 3 years. Yeah, 2 more to go. What's the worst financial decision you've ever made? Financing the car, too. Yeah man, it happens to all of us. Except this guy's car was an M3. Oh, damn. I went and got a Honda. Yeah, I'm paying $700. What are you paying on yours? $560. God damn, I'm getting worked out here. $700 a month at 20% for 5 years on a 2017 Honda Civic. That's $42,000 in payments for a used Civic before insurance, almost $1,000 a month, as he put it, for one of the most affordable cars ever built. And then the twist of the century, the guy interviewing him is paying $560 a month on a BMW M3. Less money for an M3 than this man is paying for a Civic. That's the exact moment he realizes the car was never the problem. The zero down, the 20% APR, the first-time buyer rate, that's the problem. Same road, same traffic, wildly different bills. Your terms are the car. What is this car? Next one, BMW. People go into debt for BMWs just so they can be the worst drivers on the road. What's the balance on this? 56,000. What's the minimum monthly payment? $1,140. Oh my God. I know, it's one of the worst financial decisions I've made. He tried to talk me out of it, and I said no. And now we're paying the price financially. I wasn't accounting for the possibility of being unemployed. What's the term length on this? 6 years. What's the interest rate on this? 15%. 6 years, 15%, $1,140 a month. $56,000 still owed, and now unemployed. And that one sentence says everything. He tried to talk me out of it and I said no. Somebody in that household ran the numbers and got overruled by a badge on the hood. Here's the rule nobody wants to hear: a car payment has to survive your worst month, not your best one. If the math only works while you're employed, healthy, and getting overtime, the math doesn't work. Every loan you sign is a bet that the next 6 years go perfectly. 6 years never goes perfectly. 2021 BMW X5 with 65,000 miles on it. How much do you owe? 48. You owe 48. Yeah. I honestly can't afford this payment anymore. How much are the payments? $960 a month. $960. Yeah. How long have you had the car? Only about 2 months. 2 months. Yeah, and then things fell apart with my wife. Oh, you're married? Yeah. And 2 kids too. So how old are you? 25. Guys, if I wanted to sell this car tomorrow, I'd probably need to list it around $34.99. He's flipped it back around. Come here, let's talk. Do you have gap insurance on it? Just telling him now. Honestly, man, I don't really see another option besides renting the car out. I could get behind that, dude. I'm about to change your life here. It's basically private rentals. We'll manage the whole thing. I'll do it on a 60-40 split. You cool with that? 25 years old, 2 kids, $960 a month, owes $48,000 on an X5 that's worth about $35,000, no gap insurance, and he's only 2 months in. That's $13,000 underwater before the first oil change. But watch what happens next, because this part got me. A guy shows up with the solution. Rent your car out through my company, 60-40 split, and I'll front you the tires and just deduct the cost from your earnings. So now the man drowning in a car payment also owes his own rescuer for a set of tires, while strangers put miles on a vehicle he's already underwater on. When you're desperate, everyone offering to help has a business model. Read The Split. He's the 40. You guys want to hear something worse than my Tahoe payment? You thought that was bad, wait until you hear this one. It's my husband's truck. My husband drives a 2020 GMC Sierra 1500. We bought it in August of 2022. Financed it for $78,000. He still owes somewhere around $72,000 or $74,000, I honestly haven't checked lately. His payment is $1,600 a month. So yeah, you all thought my $1,400 Tahoe payment was bad. His truck payment is $1,600 a month at a 14% APR. So yeah, everybody can stop coming after me for my bad financial decisions and go after him too, because he's messed up just as bad. Too bad he didn't buy his own truck. I did. So yeah, I messed us both up. Oops. So maybe we should just let his truck get repossessed and keep the Tahoe, because a $1,400 Tahoe payment beats a $1,600 truck payment any day. Or maybe we let them both go, since we've got the Audi now and don't need either car payment. $1,400 for her Tahoe, $1,600 for his truck at 14%. That's $3,000 a month in car notes, which in most of the country is an actual house payment. They financed $78,000 back in 2022 and still owe about $74,000, which tells you nearly every payment so far has gone straight to interest. And the exit strategy is just let them get repossessed, we have the Audi now. Quick lesson, a voluntary repo is still a repo. It wrecks your credit for years, and after the truck gets auctioned off, you still owe whatever's left over. You don't hand back the debt along with the keys. Also, there's a third car. There was always a third car. Alright, check this out. My client Marcus just drove off in a 2022 Hyundai Elantra. Marcus, how much did you put down today? $10,000. $10,000. What's your monthly payment? $862. $862. How long are you financing for? How much did you put down? $13,000. $13,000. How much are you paying a month? $1,300. $1,300. How long are you financing for? For life. For life. Hey, now that's what I'm talking about. How much did you put down? $2,000. $2,000. How much was your monthly payment? $630 a month. $630 a month. How long are you financing for? Forever. Forever. Now that's what I'm talking about. Don't be a hoe, come shop with us. How much did you put down? $1,000. Just $1,000. How much are you paying a month? $339. $339. How long are you financing for? 383 months. And the award for the single most confusing deal goes to Marcus, who put $10,000 down on a Hyundai Elantra and is still paying $862 a month for a car that starts in the low 20s. $10,000 down should nearly wipe out an Elantra loan. So either something huge got rolled into that deal, or that interest rate belongs in a museum. Then we've got $15,000 down and still $1,300 a month for life. $630 a month, forever. And every one of these ends with the dealer shouting, "That's what I'm talking about, hit my DMs." Of course that's what he's talking about, forever is his favorite loan term, he gets paid at signing. Alright, so the black one, I pay about $3,100 a month. The gray one, I pay $2,900 a month. So that's a total of $6,000 for those two. The car that's in Houston with my brother, the Cadillac Escalade, which I'll put in here too, I pay $1,700 a month for that one. To get both of my cars washed every 2 weeks, that's $120, so a total of $240 a month. So altogether I'm paying about $7,800 worth of car notes. Every 6 months I pay about $3,500 for insurance, plus $240 a month for car washes. What do you all think, is that too much to pay for 3 cars, 3 luxury cars? Put it in the comments below. $3,100 plus $2,900 plus $1,700, that's $7,700 a month in car notes. And I'll note his own math wandered a bit on camera, which when you're spending this much is a red flag on its own. Call it over $92,000 a year in payments alone, before insurance and the bi-weekly car washes. That's an entire doctor's salary spent driving around 3 vehicles, one of which lives in another city with his brother. And then he asks, is that too much to pay for 3 luxury cars? My brother in Christ, if you have to ask the comments section is not the problem. That's not a car note, that's a payroll. Let's break down my monthly payments on my 2026 G80 M3 competition. I didn't want to wait for a custom order, so instead I called literally every single BMW dealership in the country, specifically hunting for the carbon buckets, the Brooklyn gray paint, and X-Drive. The buckets were honestly pretty hard to track down, especially in the Florida blue color, but when I found this one I knew I needed it. So with that said, the MSRP on this car was just about $100,000 flat. I traded in my 2022 Chevy Silverado RST and got $12,000 in equity, which went straight into the down payment on the M3. I financed it through BMW at 6.7% APR for 72 months. Now with that said, I don't plan on keeping it financed through BMW. I'm going to refinance it through a credit union at a lower rate. My total monthly payment is $1,500. And if I hadn't put anything down, it would probably be somewhere around $2,200. That's my monthly payment on my G80 M3. Now this is the sophisticated version, and I want you to notice how responsible it all sounds. Trade in equity, a plan to refinance through a credit union, he knows his APR down to the decimal. All genuinely smarter moves than most of this video. But strip away the vocabulary and it's still $1,500 a month for 6 years on a $100,000 car that depreciates like a dropped phone. That's $108,000 in payments after the down payment. Knowing the terms of a bad deal in great detail doesn't make it a good deal, it just makes it a well-documented one. He called every BMW dealership in America. Imagine that same energy pointed at literally anything that actually appreciates in value. I've got $60,000 in car debt, with about $30,000 of that being negative equity. And let me tell you how the dealership scammed me, because I bought my car on my own back in 2022, and I got scammed, and I don't want anyone else to get scammed. So the dealership guy told me they could put me in a Jeep off the lot for 3 months with no loan payment, and then they'd roll the loan over onto the new Jeep once it came in. I thought, oh, that sounds great, so I signed it. I had no payments while I waited. My Jeep came in, I went and picked it up, and when he sat me down, he handed me a piece of paper that said the car was basically $100,000. And I about had a fit, because when I originally went in, the finance guy told me my monthly payment was going to be around $600. And then when I brought that up to the salesman while picking up the Jeep, he told me the finance guy had lied to me and that's actually why that guy doesn't work there anymore. And now I'm stuck with $1,000 car payment. I honestly don't understand how negative equity works, so if you ask me questions about that I probably can't help. But basically, if I sold my Jeep today, I'd be lucky to get $35,000 for it. And I still owe $59,000. Yeah, she's an attorney, and she still got taken, which tells you exactly how good these finance offices are at this. So let me give the explanation she was asking for. Negative equity means you owe more than the car is worth. When they rolled her first loan into the second Jeep, the leftover balance from car number 1 got stacked right on top of car number 2's price. 2 loans wearing 1 trench coat. That's how a Jeep turns into a $100,000 piece of paper, and a $600 promise turns into a $1,000 payment. She owes $59,000 on a Jeep worth $35,000. The lesson fits in one sentence: never roll a loan into a new car, and never trust a payment quote that isn't in writing. You're going to kill me for this. I just traded in a 2023 Tesla Model 3 for a truck last night. Like literally 12 hours ago. Derek, you said you've been listening to the show. I know. Derek, what are you doing right now for work? I work for an automotive supplier, I make 45 a year. And you just bought a $30,000 truck. Yes. Okay, you need to call them back, honey, and tell them to cancel the transaction, that you're not going through with it. My thing is, I traded in my old car for, are you going to argue with me about something this dumb? You're really not going to argue with me about something this dumb? Please tell me you want a better life than the one you have. You keep doing stupid stuff, you're going to end up with a stupid life, honey. What you did last night was absolute brain damage, do you understand that? I mean, dude, really? I love you, but good God, that was dumb. Can I share my point of view real quick on that? Not really. You can either call them back and cancel the deal, or you can have a good life. A $30,000 truck on a $45,000 salary, that's 2/3 of his gross income tied up in one vehicle, when the general rule of thumb is your total car costs shouldn't pass 10 to 15% of your take-home pay. And here's why, call them back, is genuinely good advice and not just tough love. There's no legal cooling off period on car purchases, but when a deal is only 12 hours old, the financing often hasn't funded yet, which means the dealer can still unwind it if you push. After a few days, that door welds shut. The window to fix a car mistake is measured in hours. And he called into a radio show right in the middle of it. I bought a Lambo and I went broke. Can you walk us through the finances of buying an SVJ? Those kinds of cars, getting that loan is basically impossible unless they trust you as a borrower. So my first car was a Range Rover, then I got the McLaren 570S, then the Evo, then the Lambo truck, then the Rolls-Royce truck, then the SVJ. So that trust was built up over time. He trusted me enough to keep giving me loans. Can I ask how much the lease payment is? 14 grand a month. 14,000. Yeah, holy cow. I still drive my 2200. But wait, how much did you put down on that? Because 14,000, I figured it'd be higher, honestly. 250,000. That's why. Wow. And we're closing out on the final boss of car payments, $14,000 a month, after putting $250,000 down on a Lamborghini SVJ, on a lease. He doesn't even own it. And listen to how he frames the whole path, first the Range Rover, then the McLaren, then the Lambo truck, then the Rolls, each one supposedly building trust with the lenders. He's describing the trap like it's a loyalty program. The banks weren't learning to trust him, they were learning exactly how much he'd pay. The guy interviewing him drives a 2002 Honda, and only one person in that conversation went broke. The title of his own story says it all, I bought a Lambo and I went broke. Case closed. And that's everything I've got for you today. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. YouTube thinks you'll like the video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, drop a like and I'll talk to you soon.